Hey peeps, welcome to Saisa Munga. Welcome to Saisa Munga. It's good to have you back. For the new subscribers, karibuni. My gang notification, karibuni. My peeps, karibuni. This journey could not be what it is without you guys. And I really love all of you. Enjoy that we can do this journey together. Karibuni, tena. This channel is about being bold, being brave, and being courageous, and doing life together, mostly doing life together. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for just being here and watching this episode and always coming back and again. And if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. If you enjoy, which I know you do, you enjoy these videos, you enjoy the content, kindly subscribe. And let's get into it. Today's episode is about last week I did a video saying that I had a hard time at the beginning of the COVID and at the beginning of the epidemic because I was operating from a point of fear instead of operating from a point of faith. And I just want to dive much into that today. Both faith and fear cannot coexist, and both of them are unseen, and both of them you have to feed them for each to grow. You have to feed fear to grow, you have to feed faith to grow. And sometimes feeding them can be because of what you're doing or what you're not doing, and just being in that state of either being afraid or having faith. But before we dive much into it, I want to give some background. First of all, I do not live alone. I live at home. So I am not in a situation where I have to pay bills like rent, electricity, water, and so forth. So my bills are not as huge as the rest of the people who have to pay for that. I also don't have a dependent, so I don't have also to worry about that as at now. But that doesn't mean that if there is that provision that I wasn't worried, because I wasn't looking outside of myself. I wasn't looking outside of the things that were happening to me. I was just feeding the fear, and then all of a sudden feeling it. In other words, it's like life was tasteless. Let me say it in Kikuyu. Maisa matiari na musamo. No, maisa magite musamo. Well, for those who don't understand, is life being tasteless? I think that's the flavorless. I think so, flavorless. And a few things, and I kept overthinking. Of course, I said I wasn't working, so my work does not allow me to work from home. And definitely, we are not foreseeing a situation where we'll go back to work this year. We might even go back to work next year because I work for a project, and sorry, I cannot diverge more on it. So for that reason, I didn't have work. We weren't going to church. We were not meeting friends. We were not doing a lot of things together. So that caused me to feel the fear of the unknown. I would say the fear was more for the unknown. How did I come out of it? Some of those things I'm still trying to maneuver. So I started walking. Walking is such a therapeutic thing. You get to see the world. You get some fresh air. I don't have a routine that I would say I wake up at this time, then I do this and I do that. No, because I suck at routines. But I have been consistent in the walking. I walk at 4 p.m. So that helped a lot, walking. I reduced on my intake on the news that I'm watching, whether it was international or local. And even now, I control how much news I am feeding myself into. I also went off social media for some time. That was so therapeutic, just staying off from the noise and from what everybody else is saying helped a lot. I also started writing again, and that is amazing. I'm a good poet. No, I love writing poems, so I started writing again. I hope someday I'll share what I write, So I started writing again. I started reading books again, and I started, instead of, because I couldn't pray because of the fear that I was in, so I started listening more to worship songs because at the time I couldn't pray. So I started listening more to worship songs, to just look for something to really adore God and to be thankful for what God has done. And I tell you, that is been a good journey. I don't always do it, but I work on it. I said I listen to a lot of podcasts. So I want to talk about my 3 most listened to podcasts. And I'll start with Jesus and Jollof. I love their episode where they talk about parenting your parents, but that's not what was helping a lot at the time. I love their self-care. Yeah, their self-care episode. It says you have to figure out what self-care is to you, and then you do it. Having to figure out what is self-care for me as Saisa, what is self-care. I often thought self-care is going for a massage, going for a staycation, going out of town. But with this COVID and this being locked down, I have realized self-care can be sleeping. Self-care can be binge watching. Self-care can be just chilling and not just unplugging from everything, from the media, from your phone, from radio, from TV, from a movie, and just listening to your thoughts. Self-care can be the walk that I do, and I feel like that's my way of self-care. The other one is Blessed and Bossed Up. I love their devotions. Their devotions are really, really amazing. There's one they talk about you're stronger than you think. I think I've listened to that like 3 or 4 times. Just going back and realizing that you're not doing anything by your own strength. You need God. I love the fact that they put down the verses that they're gonna do the devotion for, and they talk about it in such a sober manner. Then finally, the one I would really want to dive into as my third one is Therapy for Black Girls. Yeah, Therapy for Black. They had 20 questions that you can keep asking yourself to verify what you are going through. And so I picked 4 that really I identify with and I work on, probably, if not every day, mostly I try and get the answers to. So I'll get into my 4 questions. You can get these questions on their website. It's called Therapy for Black Girls. 20 questions. You can get them online. They're there. Or you can listen to the podcast and you get the 20 questions. So I'll go straight to my 4 favorite questions. The ones that I'm really looking for answers for. Number 1 is, what does joy look like or feel like? That one, I'm still looking for the answer. Yeah, what does joy look like at this point in time and how does it feel like? Number 2 is, what surprises have you learned about yourself in this period? 1, I don't want to put it in numbers, but the surprises. I met my body and I didn't love it. I actually met my body and I didn't love my body. Not that anything happened to me or something major happened to me. I'm not even sick, but I just didn't love my body. I thought I loved it, but during this time, having to look at it every day and having to really have time to really think through my body, I actually found out I don't love my body. I don't love it as much. And so that's the other reason I started walking, because I want to lose some few kgs. The thing that surprised me is about my career. Not knowing whether we'll go back to work or not, how soon nobody knew how long this will take. Nobody even knows now how long this will take. Not knowing when we'll go back to work and what to do in the meantime. What to do in the meantime for my career, where to start growing myself, where to start making myself better. And that's a big worry. That's a huge worry for me. My number 3. When was the last time you offered someone a small act of kindness? When I do the walks, I don't walk alone. I walk with my 2 cousins who are younger, 17 and 19. And during those walks, my act of kindness is that we can talk about anything. We can talk about life. We can talk about challenges that they are going through. I just get to know what's going on in their life, what's tiring them, what's giving them some good energies, what their dreams are. And I feel really blessed to be able to mentor them even during this time, and also to be walking, to be exercising as we do it. So that would be my act of kindness. My other act of kindness is that I started teaching our nanny, let me call her our auntie. I started teaching our auntie computer packages. I'm not trained to teach computer packages, but we had this time, I'm at home, she's here. When she's done with her jobs and her duties, you can sit down, and we've been doing it for 2 weeks, and that has been so fulfilling. It's been so fulfilling. Seeing her energy, her zeal, her excitement, and wanting to learn. Imagine if she even takes notes when we are doing it. And just knowing that it didn't cost me anything. I'm just home, I have my computer, and just teaching her what is Word, what is Excel, and those packages. That has been my act of kindness. What could be yours, Other one is, if I chose a word or a phrase beginning of the year, do I still want to stick with it or not? My word for this year, I had chosen fearless. My God, and I have been so afraid. I have been so fearful. Would I want to change it now? No. I still would want to push forward, because fearless is a journey right now for me. It's not a destination. It's more of a journey. It's more of facing that fear every day and trying to be better. It's more of fighting and rethinking and trying to better myself, even though I am feeling afraid. So for me right now, will still stick with fearless. And now I'm at a better place. And during this period, I've realized it's more of a journey than a destination. I've been afraid about so many things, yet I still want to be here and face that fear. Number 5, I don't even know what number we are in, but anyway, in what ways have you extended grace to yourself and to others? In what ways have you extended grace to yourself and to others? To others, I am calling and finding out how my friends are doing, and just to check up on people. Maybe that's my way of extending grace. To myself, I'm more patient with myself right now. I'm those people who I'm really hard on myself, but I have been extending patience to myself, to saying, Saisa, this will take time, so give it time. Take a day at a time, take an hour at a time, go through it, experience it, this too shall end, this too shall pass. Just reminding myself of that patience and reminding myself of that grace. And even remembering that grace is, like they say in 2 Corinthians, like the Bible says in 2 Corinthians 2:19, that my strength is made perfect in my weaknesses. So in those weaknesses, I have to look for strength in His grace. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, and it doesn't mean that it's easy, but it just means I am looking to God for that strength when I don't have it. The last question is, when you find yourself anxious, what are you worried about? When I find myself anxious, I'm worried about work. Mostly, I'm worried about work. I'm worried about my body and my weight. Actually, I have not weighed myself for the last time I weighed myself was in April. Maybe a month or so. I'm really worried if I weigh myself and then I find I've not dropped any kgs. I don't know. I don't know how I'll feel, but not knowing what my career will be after this, what happens, and I'm worried about, will we pull through as a people, as a country? Will we pull through? Will we get better? Will this thing end? If it doesn't end, then what? Will we be able to cope and live with it? Just the fear of mostly the unknown. And so as I end this episode, I want to tell you, I may not understand what worries you or what causes you sleepless nights. I may not really get it. I may not really understand whether it's a worry of where your rent will come from, where your food will come from, how you're going to feed your children, how you're going to pull through when you're pregnant during this season, how you're dealing with having to accept a pay cut, or you have lost your job. I might not understand what causes you the worry, but this is what I know. You have to believe in something and a power above yourself, and I can only take you back to God. You have to believe that when He says, my grace is sufficient, it doesn't mean it's easy, it doesn't mean things will get fixed, it doesn't mean things will get better, but when He says, my grace is sufficient for you and my strength is made perfect, that means as weak as we are, as tired as we are, as frustrated as we are, as disappointed as we are, His grace is sufficient. And so I hope you can look to God, whether through praying, whether through worshiping God, whether through reaching out to someone, but know that He says, you have come to me just as you are, meaning there is your part. You have to go to God. Somehow you have to go to God. However you make it there, you have to go to God to find that strength, to pull through this season, to have hope for this season. They say this is like a reset to humanity, but I know it's a fresh start with who we are and who we are in God. This season can destroy you. It can attack your identity, who you are. It has attacked who we are, what we do, how we do life, how we go through life. but it has not changed who God is, and it has not attacked who God is, because even if the foundations of the earth have been affected, God is still God, and he's still on the throne, and he's still in charge. So I hope you find the strength to come to God just as you are. This is Saisa Munga. Whenever you listen to this episode, when you watch this episode, type amen or type something. Comment, share, like. Take care of yourself and take care of your environment and those that are around you. We need each other during and after this COVID. Bye.